Good evening, everybody, and specifically Mr. Taylor and or your attorney, because for the most part, this is directed to you graciously, not as an attack either. It's something I never thought of until last night. Um, because I do believe in fairness, and nothing I do is personal, even though everything that's been done to me since day one that led to all this is personal. But I'm beyond all that. Now, I just want to get to the bottom of all this crap and hear the truth, whatever that may be. But last night I'm reading from Mr. Taylor's attorney the response to my motion to quash the second subpoena that was sent to me, demanding documents be produced. Everything that I've already posted here, where its whereabouts, from who, all of that, we've covered it. And that was the basis of my the motion that I sent to the judge. It's not about not wanting to. I already have it prepared. And I will include this as well, because anything that involves Howard Taylor, I'm furnishing to his attorney, Tamara Wise, in New York, as per judge's order. I asked for an extension the first time because I wanted to go deeper into it with more detail. And then I thought about it and I said that I did need to speak with an attorney, which I did for advisement, because I I'm not the one on trial here. You have a litigation between yourself and Jeff Gorell. Howard, I have nothing against you. I have nothing against any of the other people that I've produced this same information, which is available to everyone through Pacer. You know this. Everyone knows this. Open to the public, easily obtainable by anyone who wants to log in, create an account, or the way I did, which is a third party for the most part, which I have interviewed that person who is on the record stating that they furnished me with most of the fruit of their research. Okay? Just because the commissions looked past this up until I publicized it, that's not my fault. Whether someone is guilty or not, and if the proof is because of what I have produced to the public now, which the public again can easily acquire by themselves. But if it has forced the commissions to doing their jobs, well, so be it. That's the way it works. But I'll give it another guy, Nick DeVita. I don't know if anybody knows what his nickname used to be, and I still don't know why it was, but we used to call him Coat. When he was working for other guys and just a groom and hanging around Golden Shoe, he'd visit over there. Johnny Giroux was there. That group of guys, Dave DeSpiva, his wife, Noelle, before she ever became anything that she is now, and everybody's gone forward in their lives, but it's nothing personal. If anything, Nick used to crack me up. But I'm sorry that your name is on those invoices and those payments and those orders for BB3. I don't know what to say. It's you. Someone says it's you. If it's not you, you need to fight for yourself. Now he's in trouble. But it's ironically, as I was going over this again yesterday, which is virtually identical to the first request for information from Howard's attorney, I don't know what made me think. I went back and I was listening to the audio of the full conversation I had months ago. I forgot the date, even though I put out a part of it today, with Garrett Dowse, where he goes, in his own words and specifics, of his involvement with the people he names in that conversation, where he says, "I will gladly, Mike, you know me, I have no problem speaking, blah 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 blah." So between that and then I said, you know something, I'm sure he can't. I should say it like this, Howard, I'm sure you can't for obvious reasons, but I've never extended you the same opportunity I've extended everybody else, which is an invitation to come on here and speak on the phone. Like I said, it would be an open forum for you to tell your story from your perspective in any way, shape, or form that you wish. Bring your attorney if need be on the phone. It would be a phone call through the live stream here. I won't be questioning you. I did this with other people. I'll be listening. It will be your chance to tell the public, anyone, the industry, from your side. I understand you've got 3 states, 2 states, a country, and whatever else, and then the defamation thing with Jeff Gorell, which is something else I thought about as I'm reading the subpoena again, and it came. I'm not afraid to say it for what it is. I am not loyal to anyone. I'm only loyal to the animals and the truth, and a business that I used to enjoy and love and be a part of, even though at the end it was minimal, and then I got blackballed. But as for Jeff Gorell, who he and his team at one point tried to have me arrested because I knew enough to protect myself, not unlike you. But whether you are, whether what in those documents somehow it proves or disproves, either way, that you have broken the rules, not broken the law, that ship has sailed. You said in your own words, you went on, I think it was DRF, that you were cleared by the FBI. But if you have broken the rules, that's what the commissions do. If you have not, you defend yourself, fine, whatever. But you know what? Whether people aren't going to like what I'm going to say right now, but or some may not, some may agree, some may disagree. Mr. Gorell is a hypocrite. Because I was looking at the entries this morning, and the one name that popped out was Jose Luis Godinez is racing at the Meadowlands. Now, you're dealing with the thing that he has you barred from the Meadowlands because of what happened in those documents saying you purchased these illicit drugs, blah, blah, blah. But we all know the story. But that guy, who I also know very well, proffered enormously by fronting for Thomas Guido III. Now, I'm not saying that he should be banned or not banned. I'm not saying that you should be banned or not banned for what Gorell has deemed you guilty of. And he has the right to refute whatever. It should be equal. I want to know from Jeff Gorell, why is that guy allowed to race and this guy's not? We could bring up a whole bunch of names that are back in that we're going to be gone forever. And then I could easily make the case for why is Howard Taylor being singled out? It doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree with what's in front of me that I've already presented to everybody. That's not the case. And that's why I thought, and I mailed it out this morning, Howard. That's why I'm doing this live stream. I sent it to your Broad Street address because that's your office. A formal invitation to come on here December 26th. And if that doesn't work, if you are interested, give me another date. I left a business card in there. Come on here. As long as you want, you run the floor and tell everybody what really happened or what didn't happen. Up to you. Now, as for the subpoena, I wanted to carefully word what I'm going to say right now, but I think I know what it is that you want, and I think I have it. You're asking for the second time for everything that's literally out here and where it came from. It doesn't answer what I think is your biggest question, which you ask and around, or it asks for my involvement, whether I work for conversations paid for by Jeff Garral? The answers to that are no, never, no, zero. Up until August, I was on really bad terms with those guys for what they did to me. Only because I do miss the game and I like going to the Meadowlands, even though he owns it. I miss that track. I miss that racing. It's still the Meadowlands racetrack. Do I like the people there? I tolerate them. Do I think they're up and up? I think they're full of shit. I can say that, especially after what they did to me, because I might have been getting too close to what it is that they were doing. I don't know. But you don't hide somebody in a room with two people and not expect that person to defend themselves, which is what I did by taking that audio out of there. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. And then I had this New Jersey State Troopers calling me as per Jason Settlemore. You think I forgot about that? No. Think I let that go? No, not at all. Zero. Why? I, not unlike you, Mr. Taylor, can't race there. Or at this point, anywhere else. I can't even walk on the property at Goshen Historic Track. See, what I'm saying is we have a lot of things. People who are being crucified in this business and by this business and individuals have a lot of things in common, even though they may be on different levels. There is a hypocrisy that runs through this industry as well, that everybody takes care of themselves. They're only concerned with themselves and what it is for them to benefit. And it comes down to one thing: money. We all know that. But I wrote myself a little note here and it says, I'm not loyal to nor ever worked for Jeff Garral. I'm going to, depending on what the judge decides on whether they quash or not, my motion to not furnish your attorney again with this stuff, which I don't really care either way, as long as I can email it in this time, because the last time I went there and it was a clusterfuck, your attorney's office didn't even know I was coming. Not that I don't mind going into New York City. I do. I love going into New York City, even if it's to go down there and fiddle frig with this and handing over shit for you. But I'm not the one being tried here. But I repeat, I'm only loyal to the horses and the truth. And the truth being is, everything you're asking for isn't giving you what you want. And like I said, that is, you're looking for, is Jeff Garral moving the chess pieces behind all this? And I'm not going to tell you my answer because I don't have to. Because you're not asking for that. You're asking for my connection to this and the people around me who have furnished me with information. But if you were asking, are they behind the scenes in all this? And would I have any knowledge of that or been exposed to anything regarding that in an end around way, indirectly? I mean, there's only one way to find out. It's ask the right question, and you haven't done that. And I'm not just going to hand it to you. So I'm going to leave it like this. Howard, another thing I wanted to mention. You could ask some of your acquaintances. I don't want to say this, even though when I get to the Gareth thing in a second, he says it. People you've done business with in the industry are also people that I've done business with in the industry, and were in my house in their underwear at Golden Shoe Training Center, who you've had involvement with, a trainer, and checking his entries because his computer didn't work. You know, you probably know who I'm talking about. But my point is, if you talk to these people or still converse with any of them, ask them about me. I've never hurt anybody in the game, but here we are. You know, life gives you lemons. I'm going to throw them back at you. Now, like I was saying a few seconds ago, when I was going all over this, something made me look at the Gareth Douse audio that I never released. It never occurred to me that I never released the full audio of the conversation I had with Gareth. I had released a few seconds of the one part, and I actually changed the voices. I was protecting Gareth at that point because I had a bad feeling because other people are privy to that audio. One person being Howard Taylor's attorney. I included that in my first batch of documents and digital evidence, audio, video. I included that because it was pretty heavy what he says. But after what I saw today, coincidentally, after I mailed the invitation to Howard, and I came back, I didn't look at today's, not realizing it was Friday. The FAS fines and suspensions on USTA, and I went by it the first time, and Garrett Dowse, same thing that happened to DeVita and the Cleggs, non-cooperative in an SRIF investigation, and then I just made a few phone calls, and sure enough, I found out, yeah, it's all from the same stuff that I put out there, and that audio, because I did give it to some commissions. And wouldn't you know, suddenly, and if anybody wants to go check my YouTube channel, Equine Advocacy Alliance, it's the most recent video I put out there. I trimmed it down to take out the personal stuff. I talk about my personal life with Gareth because we were just talking, and his personal life. I chopped all that out, but I left in the good stuff. And there's names that he brings up, and there's connections that he brings up, timelines, who, this, that, and the other thing, which is all incredibly relevant right now. And my question is, when I first got on the phone with Gareth and we started talking, he says, Mike, you know me, I have no problem saying anything. It's the truth. I would talk to anyone. And I said to him, that day's probably going to come, because they're going to come and they are going to probably bring you in. And he goes on and talks about a lot of things and names a lot of, some pretty big names and things that a lot of people have been, it's the bear in the room again, but no one's ever really addressed it. He went right at it. And I said, well, so on the record, I kept it. I only put out the one point, but it's pretty damning stuff. And this is what I keep saying. But between then and now he's a member, not in good standing with the USTA. He suddenly clammed up. Why? He probably had more to gain by talking than he did shutting his mouth. It leads me to believe that what he would have to say would incriminate others. And then that leads me to believe that a lot of the things that we've been talking about make sense. So, in a kind of a weird way today, all of it crashed into each other. And it leads to this again, where you could have the floor as long as you want. Tell the story. I know Monday got delayed in Delaware. And I don't know if this would be proper for you to even do this. I don't know if I probably highly doubt that your attorney would advise that you go on a live stream, but I want you to know the offer is there and it's good. And it's good indefinitely, but I think it would be good to do before next month and around the holidays when everybody's kind of shut down. So the entire industry is listening to you. And again, you can read the invitation I sent to you. It's clear and it's binding. I wouldn't renege on what I've said. Is your floor to speak with zero judgment. Because in the end, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care what happens to you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just don't care anymore. I just wanted to have my 3 horses and be left alone. I wanted to be at a safe place that I felt as though was safe. And I felt as though that as a trainer who cares about his horses, I should have the opportunity to say that and be respected in return. Instead, here we are, right? One other thing. The other guy who was parked behind my building, you see what happened during the week. I found out that they now are supposed to take those horses that were here at Goshen Historic Track and to be able to race at Monticello Raceway have to be stabled on the grounds at Monticello Raceway. Whether that's happened or not, I don't know. And I also posted the audio of those two judges, presiding judge at Monticello Raceway and the associate judge, basically saying that one says that, well, they need horses, and there was a, don't understand the deal, but not to punish the horse. You need horses, and you're just looking the other way. That's very dangerous when you have commission officials on one hand issuing 10-year suspensions, and then in the same issue, on the other hand, saying, well, the horses can stay with him as long as nobody talks about it, or it doesn't. Well, a lot of people were talking about it because I was getting message after message that people at Monticello Raceway are pissed off, and I got to protect their anonymity, because instead of you actually enforcing the penalty, you'll take it out on the people who are upset that they got to continue to race against this person. I've been keeping an eye on it and been getting information that they are slowly trying to do what was asked of them. Whether it's been done or not, I don't know. And if it has, great, mission accomplished. If not, shame on New York State Gaming on this one, because it just blows my mind again how they will take out. It's like what we see going on in the real world now, where the person who is guilty is being painted as the victim, and the people who are upset that they've got to deal with that person still are the criminals. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the problem with harness racing right now. And it's also the biggest reason why people are scared to death to speak up for themselves. And when this happens, the crooks keep making more money. The little guys get either squashed, squeezed out, or starving and struggling. And more you're seeing people talking about the money being pulled from the states, that even some of these bigger podcasts, like the one I put out this morning, Rail Talk, are saying, even in the thoroughbreds, without the casino slot subsidies, all of that, they're done. Nobody cares about horse racing anymore, not in the numbers that you need to survive. And nobody's doing anything to change the public perception. They continue to keep doing the same thing and manipulate the industry to benefit the top 1% of the industries. Both sides, both just as guilty. But harness racing, it's almost like they have no shame. They're not afraid of anything. I don't know what to say. Mr. Taylor, it would make for one hell of a podcast. That's for sure. A lot of people would be talking. Peace, everyone.